Hi guys, Dr. Sam here, helping you get closer to great skin days. Now, today I'm starting my Acne Solved series, something I'm excited about. And I guess the last time I talked about acne in a sort of series format was some time ago. I realized I've been on YouTube for 4 years, and I thought it was long overdue to redo that acne series, but with a really practical focus. So you go away from watching these videos with the tools and the structure in mind to get a handle on your skin. Now, acne is the #1 concern that I see in the clinic. And it's the #1 concern talked about on the various platforms, Instagram, my Facebook group, and on here on YouTube. So I thought, why not do a deep dive into how to get a handle on this common and problematic skin disorder. And I know oftentimes there's a lot of reservations about taking action, that you're setting yourself up for disappointment somehow, that you have fears that you won't be able to cope, that you've read about products maybe causing problems. So I really want to give you the confidence to build a structured routine, to know that you've got the capabilities to handle any bumps in the road, pardon the pun, and really to see you through a 3-month period really of taking charge of your skin using toolkit of tricks that I've developed to help manage my own skin as well as those of my patients in clinic. So the first thing I want to give you is a shopping list of tools to see you through. Now, firstly, you're going to need a basic non-foaming, non-drying, non-clogging cleanser, and the word is non-comedogenic, and you're going to hear me use that term a lot. The next thing you're going to need is a moisturizer, and possibly two, a lighter format and a richer format that's going to be able to help you customize your routine based on where your skin is at on your acne journey. Next thing you're going to need as part of this kind of basics kit is a proper sunscreen. I know it might seem counterintuitive because so many sunscreens can cause problems, but with good choices, you can make this part of your everyday routine, and it's going to stop problems like worsening of those dark marks, and it's really going to help protect you and start your anti-aging journey in a sensible way too. In terms of actives then, you're going to need 2 things to start off with. It's that simple. The first thing is an anti-inflammatory tool, and that's going to help you get a handle on those red blemishes. So we talk about papules, we talk about pustules, we talk about nodules and cysts, and they all tend to have an inflammatory component to them. So you need ingredients that are going to help tackle that. So that's going to help you get a handle on the acne that you have in the here and now. The second thing you're going to need is a preventer. Now, at the core of every acne blemish, whether inflamed or not, is a clogged pore or a comedone, hence the term in skincare of non-comedogenic. So what we want to do, if we really want to get ahead of the acne, to solve it, to prevent it, as opposed to just reacting to new blemishes as they come, is to unclog the pores. Now, there's only a few ingredients that do that in the skincare arena, and that's retinoids and azelaic acid. Now, azelaic acid is the friend of the pregnant person because we don't like to use retinoids in that instance. But for pretty much everyone else, if we can, a retinoid is first line. I'm going to talk about those in a bit more detail. Makeup is part of the toolkit. I think it's very important that in the makeup category, you don't make matters worse. So I'm a big fan of skipping powder and long wear foundation. You probably know this already. So seek out non-comedogenic bases. I'm going to give you some options in the comments down below, and skip powder, use blotting papers instead if you're troubled by T-zone shine. Now, the structure of your routine is pretty straightforward. So I think of cleanser, moisturizer, SPF in the morning, with a space between your cleanser and your moisturizer as being the key position to place your anti-inflammatory. And then at nighttime, you've got your cleanser and your moisturizer, and there's a space in between for you to use your retinoid, or if you're using azelaic acid, that would go in there too. If you've watched my video on dosing and on layering, you'll have an idea of how to use those tools at different levels of intensity, depending on where you're at. So for instance, you're starting out, you might want to go in super gentle if you have sensitive skin or you have a history of maybe your skin reacting to certain products. In which case, I think it best to start one active at a time. There is no race, there's no reward for being the first over the finish line with any of this. You must go as slowly or as quickly as your skin permits. A very oily, thick-skinned girl is going to be much more tolerant of actives than somebody who's got thin, delicate skin. And you can get acne in either situation, particularly as you get older. So start off at a sensible level, knowing your own skin's natural behavior. So the easiest way to go in gently is to do the following, is to skip days in between the use of your active. So you might start off with an alternate day schedule. You might apply your active over moisturizer. You might even dilute your active with some bland moisturizer to make it less strong. So those are the ways that you can reduce the intensity to make things more tolerable. The final thing you can do is to consider with your retinoid pre-treating with niacinamide, which will make your skin more tolerant when you introduce the retinoid onto your skin. As I pointed out in the dosing video, it's really important to quantify the amounts so that you can be consistent and where appropriate, escalate the quantity. So I tend to always recommend starting off with a half a fingertip unit, which is essentially a large P. And if you can, building up to a full fingertip unit as your skin permits. This is just a guide. Not everyone will be able to do that, and different people will have different tolerances, but that's a kind of framework to use so that you can escalate in a consistent fashion and dose your skincare in a consistent fashion for maximum results. In terms of where you apply a product to, and I'm talking about the active products now, I would recommend using the 13-dot technique for your preventer step at night typically. So 3 dots, 3 dots, 3 dots, 2 and 2. And for your anti-inflammatory steps, it can be a little more targeted. Now, 13 dots works fine if you tend to get acne all over the face, but it's more typical in teens and males to get T-zone problems and in women to get problems along the jawline in the U part of the face. So if we modify the dot technique, for the T-zone, we're probably talking 7 dots of 3 to 2. And for the U, we're talking 8 to 10, depending on whether the area around your nose is involved as well. So 13 dots all over, and then the modified dot technique, depending on where your trouble zones are for the anti-inflammatory step. I think it's important to be aware of actives that I don't think have any real role to play in solving acne. So things like vitamin C, which I find a lot of people get quite caught up in. Where's my vitamin C going to go? Vitamin C does not particularly help acne. So I think that's one that you can safely put aside until things are significantly better with your breakouts. The next thing is AHAs. These are not absorbed into the oily hair follicle and therefore have little potential to really start to unplug pores. That's where beta-hydroxy acids will work better. Next thing I think to put aside are your facial oils and your facial scrubs. Neither of these will serve you when it comes to solving acne. And unfortunately, despite the trend, I don't think masking is going to solve the problems either. So I think the focus should be on skincare that you use on a daily basis, or at least aiming to build up to a daily basis in a consistent, measurable fashion. A final note on anxiety and managing the desire to pick. Totally understandable and I think almost physiological. There's something about blemishes that makes us want to get in there and do something. I'm going to ask you now to do your best to resist and to work with your environment to reduce the risk of it happening. So look at your lighting. Is it kind? Is it making matters worse? Is it making you feel more anxious about your skin? Address it. Be kind to yourself. Your mirror should be your friend. And I think in terms of knowing yourself, know when you're most likely to attack your skin if this is a habit that you experience. So think about your nighttime routine. Don't take makeup off when you come in from work if you know that that then starts an evening up of peering in the mirror and having a bit of a fiddle. Try to do your skincare in a ruthlessly efficient fashion, speedy, in and out, into bed, and no fiddling. A final thought is to log your skin's activity because it's so difficult. Even when I see patients in clinic, it can be really difficult to know what's what in terms of progress, because it's so easy for the eye to be distracted by red marks of spots that have gone. So I think if you can do an inflammatory spot count and a comedone count, and maybe document with selfies in good natural light, it's a great way of really being objective about your progress. So that can really help. So I hope you're feeling informed and confident that you can put together a routine to help improve the quality of your skin. I'm going to be with you on this journey, guys, and I look forward to seeing you for the next video. Bye for now.